Carissa Pavlika, TV fanatic. Hello to you both.
Hi.
No.
So, Michelle, let's start with you. Elizabeth's grief at the end is quiet but heavy. She leaves the family, but it's not out of anger. It's just because she has nothing holding her there anymore. How did you internalize that moment of walking away?
Oh, I mean, I understand why she walked away and why she should, but it didn't make it any less emotional. It was also towards the end of filming, and so it kind of felt like very symbolic of just walking away from the season in general. Um, but I think when I first read it, my first interpretation of it was like, oh my gosh, why is Cara being so harsh to her? And then the more I realized, it's like this Cara's trying to make her feel better about the fact that she's not giving up. She's leaving. And when she says that she's gonna move on and someone's gonna sweep her off her feet, it's just her trying to encourage her and make her feel less sad for leaving. It's not that she thinks that's gonna actually happen right away, especially because she's pregnant.
Right, right. So, Tiona has survived so much by the time we see her in court. Um, but she's still, she says it cost her everything. And I'm wondering, how did you find the balance between kind of her freedom and the heartbreak of the final chapter of her arc?
Yeah, I mean that it was hard. It was hard to find the balance between that because it's almost like in a sense, what was it all for, you know? But then I think you kind of have to take a step back and realize that this is really teaching her what it means to be a woman of her word. And she wanted to get free, not for herself only, but for her community and for the rest of the communities. And in order to do that, she has to live on. She has to move through whatever that she went through, even if it means death, to be able to keep sharing, the word, to keep using her voice for freedom. And it was really difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was over here like, she lost everything. Like I was like, but did she? But she essentially, yeah, she lost her family. She had no community to go back to, you know? It was very heart-wrenching for me.
I've imagined that she's pregnant. Have you imagined that as well?
Oh yeah, I've deeply imagined it. I've thought about her in many ways and many versions of herself too. So we'll see.
And speaking of pregnancy, Michelle, obviously, when Elizabeth leaves, she's pregnant. And we've never really heard about the line that came from her. We've seen the Duttons, and we don't know what happens to her child or the family after that. Have you put together like a little scenario of where you think that things might go with her child? Where do you see her future and how she would have raised him or her?
I don't know. I know that the family tree is there's a lot of speculation around it and nothing has been confirmed. Still by the end of the show, we're all kind of left a little confused. I I think that she took the baby back to the East Coast, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up back in Montana.
Oh, oh, okay. So you're playing into that. Who is John Dutton's family tree, aren't you? Oh, for shame.
We just don't know.
I know, but it's so hard not to know because we already have the story finished. You know what I mean? On the other end.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No, I mean I want to know too. I think we would by now.
You'd
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And Amina, Tiona, of course, it costs everything. Did you how do you think she moves forward from here? What is her next move?
Yeah, honestly, I've said this in almost every interview because it's true. I want her to have a full-bodied life, and I think she's going to continue to fight for what she believes is right. I don't think there's any world in which Tiona would kind of just back down from that and would kind of take a seat, even after all she's been through. Um, I think she's a very tenacious woman, full of integrity and a heart so big it's on fire. And a woman like that can't sit on the sidelines, you know? She's going to keep fighting for what she truly believes in. So I hope for me, she does have a cub. I hope she has a little baby and is able to share that strength and that honor with them as well, while also creating community again and trying to influence the people around her in a good way.
The good answer.
Mhm.
Michelle, when Cara, you mentioned what the things that Cara says. First, she says, that she'll remember Jack enough for the both of you. And then she also says that um, Elizabeth won't really remember Jack in the long run. And all of that is okay. And I'm wondering, do you think that was kind of comforting for Elizabeth to hear? I know it has to be hard to let go, but there was that part of her that also wanted to pack up and go when she was just, she just had enough of this family.
Right. I think that yes, of course, it's comforting for someone to not guilt you, and I feel as if that's probably what Elizabeth is struggling with the most is like this was her family for how long, and they just went through this immense tragedy together, and now she's like abandoning Cara and the baby and all of that. And so I think that yes, it's comforting, but at the same time, I don't think Cara or Elizabeth really believes what Cara is saying. It's more of a kind send off, a pleasantry of it will all be okay eventually.
Mhm.
And kind of a survival tactic, I think, for both of them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're losing each other too, and they've gone through a lot together as well.
Because also, who does Cara have left? Is the
Right.
other thing. And like, yes, Spencer's back, but like Cara and Elizabeth spent a lot of time together, and now she's left to care for this baby. Like, they've really found parts of themselves in each other.
Yeah, it was like they found a home together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Amina, if 1923 gave you one lasting message about resistance, survival, or strength, what would it be?
Um, yeah, you got to keep going. You never stop. Um, I think it would be to always speak up and honor yourself in the way that you would want your child to be looked at and honored. Um, the show and Tiona as a whole has brought such a new perspective for me. I mean, I know these stories. I've known these stories my whole life, but to be able to put myself in a position where I'm feeling it full bodied, or feeling it full bodied in the way that I had to for Tiona, um, it broke my heart open in a way that I can never repay anyone for because that strength is so much deeper than the word strength, and I can't even think of another word for it because it's a visceral feeling. And yeah. I don't know, girly. I don't know.
It's all good. And I want to just thank both of you for bringing these two young women to life because it was a real pleasure watching you.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so much.
Bye bye.